Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sai Trayaya Vidmahe Sanjay Babaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Sai Trayaya Vidmahe Sanjay Babaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Sai Trayaya Vidmahe Sanjay Babaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Koti Koti Pranams Bhagwan. Sai Ram.
Koti Koti Pranams at the Divine Lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. We at SS Sai Lovers of Chennai, we are offering at the Lotus feet our Satsang on the topic for Guru Poornima 2022 given to us, which is education, dedication, devotion and salvation, ordained by Swami. May Bhagavan bless us all.
Koti Koti, loving and humble pranams at your Divine Lotus feet, Bhagwan. Please speak through us. We had taken the point which has been given for Guru Poornima. So we desire to have a Zoom online satsang. So please speak through us and let us say whatever you want us to say, Bhagwan. Thank you, Sai Ram. Swami, what today I thought we can take up the topic, which has been given, education, dedication, devotion and salvation. So first to start with, Swami has given education. So actually education, Swami has always insisted that it should be integrated with values. Secular education should be integrated with values. So Educare or Atma Vidya is all based on the 5 pillars: Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Himsa. So these values will have to be taught to the children at various levels, and children, should see the teachers as their role models. It's very, very important. Swami has been insisting time and again that it is not enough if you go and teach the children, okay, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, but the teachers will have to practice all these 5 values in their life. At the same time, Swami has told the 5 Ds are very, very important. They should be integrated along with the education system, which are the duty, devotion, discipline, discrimination, and determination. So all these 5 basic values are very, very important. These 5 Ds are very, very important for the children. And mainly, Swami has insisted that like the teacher, whatever the teacher or the guru teach the children, it will be complemented by the parents at home. So if the teacher says something, the parents say something else, then the children will not be able to follow it. So it's like the 2 wheels of the cycle. So one wheel is the family or the parents, and the other wheel is the teacher. So both of us will have to make the journey for the child very comfortable. So this is what Swami has been telling again and again. And in Swami's school, these 5 basic values, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, have been taught from a very, very young age at Balkot school, and children have been thriving so beautifully. I'd like Meghla to say a few words, how the children of Swami's school are shining and how they are setting example.
Pranams at the Divine Lotus feet of our dearmost Bhagwan, Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. Swami, I'm grateful for the wonderful opportunity that you have given to us to share what understanding, that we took from your preaching. So, we have learned that education, helps us, gives us a growth. But education without value is zero. So, we have to, inculcate, we have to practice what we preach. That is what, as you have insisted and you have, guided us that way. One incident that that I would like to share is like how we conduct ourselves, so that we the education, whom we are, what kind of a person we are is that is dependent on no matter what what degree we hold, what graduation we did. How we conduct ourselves is what is more important. So there's an example where our Sanjay Sai students, when they boarded a bus, they a group of old people, they were standing. However, they offered their seats and tickets to all those old people, and this made the old people to think, who are these students? So the way we conduct ourselves tells the education and the learnings that we have taken. The root must be filled with manure, fertilizers. That is what value education means. It is not about just ABCD or just words. It is about the values. The root should be filled with values. That is a fertilizers and manure. So that is what it's a greatest experience, that as a Balavikas or Swami students, we follow value. Maybe education, the degrees will give us the growth, but value education shows us what is right and what is wrong, what the path we should follow. That is what we take from Swami's preachings. Thank you, Swami, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And whatever the meager understanding that I've got, I've shared it today.
Actually, Swami has said the end of education is character. So the character development comes by teaching these values to the children at the age of 5, or when they enter the KG itself. Nowadays, the children are proficient enough to understand everything at the age of 3 itself. So we can start as early as possible and also show them how we can go about it in life, how they can face various situations. We can give them a lot of examples, and through attitude tests, like we have aptitude tests in large numbers, but attitude tests are very, very important. So those attitude tests will help them to improve themselves. It's very, very important. Like every class, the teacher or guru or whoever it is, whoever the parents, every day they must see to it some seed, some value seed is sown into the child's heart. So automatically the future generation will evolve beautifully. So this is what we thought we'll share, and we leave it to others to say whatever they feel about education and what's
just one thought which is coming from the Swami's teaching, where Swami says nature is the greatest teacher.
Beautiful.
And on this topic, Swami's sayings are many. Bhagavan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba's sayings are there in the Instagram page of if we go to Instagram, we will be able to add that and we will be able to see that. And one of the interesting things he talks about, Swami's teachings, is about cheerfulness. How a child is cheerful, and one should learn the virtue from nature. When these are about learnings from nature, and in the child in its natural state, which is the child when it is just born, at that time he says, the Swami says that the child who sucks milk is free from all cares, worries and anxieties, and is always cheerful. So the Swami says, I have learned the virtue of cheerfulness from the child. So being cheerful all times is a virtue which is part of the education which we should all inculcate in us from Swami's teachings. And this is something which I thought I should share from Swami's own Instagram page, which is coming out.
One more place which I remember is Swami said, like ahimsa is giving a smile to others. It starts with by giving a smile to others. When you smile to others, it's free, but it's the most valuable thing that you can give to a person. So that way we can give as much as possible to everybody. So these small things can be taught to the children through value songs and through role plays. We can tell them small stories and they can do role plays, and in class itself, in schools itself, if they start practicing, education will prove to be an asset, and whatever has happened in the two past generations, we can overcome everything, and we'll have a value-based world, which is sure to happen by Swami's grace. Jai Sai Ram. I think we'll go on to the next topic, dedication. And dedication is total commitment to whatever we are doing. See, it is not only doing one thing, but total commitment towards family, total commitment towards your work, total commitment towards God. So this is how. So I request Mr. Ramesh to take over. Sai Ram.
Loving salutations and Kodi pranams at your lotus feet, Bhagavan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. We are extremely happy to be given this opportunity to talk about the Satsang in this Guru Poornima day. I am going to dwell upon dedication, actually. Okay. This Satsang, many times we have talked about this Satsang, and as Vijay Ganesh told us, there are 5 Ds actually. Swami always says, always remember 5 Ds. That will lead to salvation. Swami always combine with dedication and service, both. But both are different. If you look like people say dedicated service, what is the difference between service and a dedicated service? If service means, Swami also clearly told that actually, devotion is different from service. If there is an element of ego, I serve, he is a master, he acquires my service, I am necessary for it. This is service. Okay. But what is the role of dedication there? If you are dedicated to do that, actually, in dedication, I is wiped out. There is no I actually. There is no desire for the fruit. The joy consists in the act being done. To cultivate that attitude of dedication, everyone must think of God, remember the name of God, and deepen faith in God. Okay, that's what. So, what is the difference in dedication? You should not expect anything. Unconditional, actually. Devotion is always thinking about Swami, and all the time, constant integrated awareness. That's what Swami says. CIA, Always we have to think about Swami. For that, again, you should have the knowledge and you have a dedication. Then only, if you are having dedication, automatically everything will fall into it. So dedication, devotion, education, and Swami also telling discipline. And determination is a very, very important factor actually. Because one is determined to do it, he will not leave it. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. That is what determination is.
Yeah, request Shobana, please.
Sai Ram, my humble pranams to the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan. So it's a great pleasure to be part of this beautiful satsang. So when you say dedication, what does it exactly mean? So it is offering something to God with pure love and affection. So that is dedication according to my perception. Swami always says that do everything with utmost dedication. So what does it exactly mean? It is without expecting any fruit out of it. Whether you do any act at home or at office, when you are committed to office, you have to perform your duties. You have to be so dedicated in performing the task without expecting anything. But is that what we are doing now? Is the $1 million question that we have to ask ourselves. Because we always, as a human, have some sort of expectations for any act that we do. But to reach the stage where we do something without expecting anything is definitely a bliss and an art that we should follow, practice in order to achieve that. That is what Swami is expecting us to do. So dedicate any work you do to the feet of Bhagavan. So you should definitely eliminate 2 qualities here. One is the ego, the other is the jealousy. So we always compare ourselves with others with any kind of act that we do. So what Swami says is do everything with utmost dedication, leave the ego, leave the jealousy. So automatically, whatever you do will be definitely offered to the feet of God. He will take care of everything. Don't expect any kind of results. And all your dedicated activities will be watched by God for sure. Though you may get the results now or later, it is not that you are going to decide. He says that I will decide. I know when to give you what. You have to be patient enough to perform your duty. That's all. So as Vijay Aunty rightly said, all the D's are 5 D's are interconnected. So when you do something with dedication, automatically the devotion will come in directly to you, and you will do the duty with utmost discipline. And you know that where to discriminate and whether we are doing it correctly or not, that will automatically be there. And for all these, the base is the education. So unless you are educated enough or you know what you're doing, the clarity in thoughts or the clarity in the mind, definitely this is not going to be achieved. And with constant prayers and devotion towards God, this could be easily achieved. This is what I feel as a dedication. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Now I'll ask Naveen to say a few words on dedication.
Koti Koti pranams at the divine lotus feet of on Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. Thank you, Swami, for this opportunity. So I think most of the points on dedication have already been covered, but I just wanted to dwell on one aspect of it, which is having the patience. So the key point of dedication is also, are we going to continue doing whatever we are doing, irrespective of all the hurdles and obstacles that we might face? So having that faith that yes, we are on the right path and not getting bogged down by any of the obstacles that we might face. So I think that is a key point of how dedicated you are. That shows whether you are dedicated in what you are doing. And then once you show that commitment to actually achieving that goal, and again, as part of that, even hard work comes in. So once you show that that you are committed and you are also hardworking and you have the patience, then definitely we will see the fruit. But we don't know when that will come. It might be 1 day later, 1 week later, 1 year later. But we should have that dedication to continue doing whatever we are doing without expecting the result in the way that we want. So then Swami knows when to give, what to give, and how to give. Saira.
Yeah, so I'll do my best and leave the rest to God.
Right topic.
Mr. VK, please.
And here Swami says a few things which I would like to share. In one of 146 Instagram, where he said, to be successful in any task you undertake, you must have a healthy exchange of ideas. So we are exchanging ideas today, and that's a very interesting one where he is part of the teachings of Swami. A decision taken based only on one-sided opinions may appear advantageous for a short term, but eventually in the long term it may not be so. However, listening and considering everyone's opinions and ideas and then implementing them with general consent will surely lead to a beneficial public work. So in the context of a satsang, which we do every week, and our own whole satsang in terms of not only weekly satsang, in terms of our seva activities and everything else we do, listening to everyone is a very important aspect, and that is as part of the dedication. So we must dedicate ourselves to conduct of a successful task by listening to everyone and exchanging ideas is one of the aspects he is highly indicating. In the other aspect of our daily devotion and dedication which we do, the second 145 where he has released, Swami's organization has released, Swami is saying, he says the less luggage you carry on your journey, the easier and convenient the journey will be. Here he highlights the heavy luggage will make the journey more difficult. In a similar way, if you carry unnecessary burden in your life journey becomes difficult. So to make your life journey simple and easy, there are burdens one should reduce slowly and learn to reduce. So the dedication aspect has another aspect of characteristic which we have to pick up. And when we dedicate, we all try to next step put devotion. But before going to devotion, on dedication, he says, for example, we try to dedicate ourselves by doing by doing fasting to show our love for Swami. Sometimes we do dedication in terms of devotional singing. So here he says, you will achieve, in 147, he says, you will achieve the fruits of your fasting only when you make it completely spiritual and ethical and good and pure. Similarly, meditate, sing devotional songs, chant the name of God, spend less time talking on other aspects. As soon as you start backbiting, everything you have earned by doing all the satsang, seva, devotion, dedication, in uplifting your spiritual needs, will go down the drain and get wasted. Live life of devotion as a devotional seeker, and make your austerities like fasting, prayer, dedication in a very successful manner by being completely dedicated and achieving it in a very simple way. So, in many aspects of dedication, I think few D's, which Sai Vijayamma and Brother Ramesh have said, the character, the character of how you go about doing it is also very important. You want to be dedicated? Yes, we want to be dedicated. So we have to also be dedicate ourselves to remembering that Swami's teaching guidance is coming every day. Look at it, glance at it, try to fine tune ourselves, as Ramesh brother said, fine tuning. That fine tuning, Swami is there with us every step of the way. He's there every day, every aspect of our life. He helps us and guides us. One should acknowledge that by looking at what he's saying for the day, thought for the day. Also, trying to dedicate ourselves on every day to our tasks. Swami also always says that your work is my work, and do it in a dedicated way. And I will be there to guide you and make you successful in life. So, with this, I share the platform back to Sai Vijayamma, and I'm sure she will invite others to speak.
Yeah, sure. It's excellent, actually. And less luggage, I thought of less luggage should be less desires and less worries. That's what Swami doesn't want us to carry, so that we'll be able to dedicate ourselves completely to whatever we are doing. So dedication is not just a small thing. It's, if we start discussing, I think we'll finish only after a week. So it's just too huge. So we'll go on to devotion now. I request Uncle and Auntie to take over, please.
Our loving pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. My topic is devotion. Among all forms of spiritual practice, bhakti is the easiest and the holiest to attain. Devotion and love are inseparable and interdependent. Bhakti is the means to salvation. Love is the expression of bhakti. Sage Narada declared that worshipping the Lord with boundless love is bhakti. Sage Vyasa also has told this. He held that performing worship with love and adoration is bhakti. Sage Garga has declared that serving the Lord with purity of mind and speech and body is bhakti. The bhakti consists in controlling the mind, turning it inwards and enjoying the bliss of communication with the divine. Another view of bhakti is concentration of the mind on God and experiencing oneness with Him. True devotion is really means installing divine in the heart and enjoying the bliss of that experience. Now, if we take the life of Prahlada, he is an Asura, born in Asura's family. But because of his bhakti, he was elevated to such an extent that he attained God, and Narasimha appeared before him, where he pointed out in the pillar. And also, we can see the same bhakti in Nandanar. She was also not educated. Education doesn't play any important role in this bhakti. He just with his bhakti, he was able to see God, even though he was not allowed by other people. He was not outcast. He was able to see God means because of his bhakti. And another example is Kannappa Nayanar. He is not educated. He doesn't have any jnana or anything. But because of his love and devotion to God, he could see Swami and he appeared before him. So, with all this, we see that bhakti is the most and the easiest and the important way of salvation. So, if we put bhakti in our Lord Sanjay Sai Baba, he will definitely elevate us and we can easily attain his lotus feet. And also, this is when the devotee prays ardently from the depths of his heart and his love gushes forth, bhakti is manifested. So because of this, we can also easily attain Bhagavan Sanjay Baba's lotus feet by our bhakti, by always thinking of him, by always praying him. This is my sincere speech coming from out of my heart. So I always pray Sanjay Swami to give me that bhakti and to think always of him and pour out my feelings to him so that I can attain his lotus feet.
Pranams to Sanjay Sai Baba. See, Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, he has initiated himself and he has so much of devotion through many shlokas and other things. Finally, what he says, Atma Tvam Girija Matihi, Girija Pranaha Shariram Sujate, Vishayo Bhogarajana, Nidra Samadhi Sthitihi, Sanchara Padayo Pradakshina Vidhi, Stotrani Sarvagiraha, Yadyat Karomi Tatadagiram Sambho Tavaradhanam. Our inner what he says, each and everything, this I am doing this, I am doing this, I am giving you this, I am offering this, not that. Whatever I do, it is only for you, and that is the final. So what he wants to say, win love through love. That's the main thing what he says. And we are doing it. If we practice it like that, a lot what he said and other things, we must definitely win over that, and we will be merging with Swami. That is the main thing we have to. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Uncle. Beautiful, beautiful. Everybody's got wonderful points. Once again, going back to Educare, like Educare is to bring out the divinity which is latent in us. What is the divinity? Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. These are the basic divine qualities which are latent in the child for us, which we'll have to bring out. That's what is Educare. So that is the Atma Vidya with which we can realize. With education, which is for living, we can have a comfortable living. But with Educare or the Atma Vidya, we have for the life, for our life, so that we attain salvation. So, in every way, like through education, which is, actually Educare, when values are integrated with education, the secular education, so automatically the children will grow. We are more bothered about the future generation now. So the more and more we are able to give to the children with dedication. See, one more dedication that came to my mind, we dedicate our life for the service of Bhagwan. So we dedicate this, as somebody was telling, like we dedicate whatever little we can, our time or efforts or whatever. When we dedicate it at the lotus feet, and Swami will take care and make things happen all around us, even praying for others, even little things we can start doing, and then we can bring about the change which is most required in the world today. So if I may be permitted to bring it to a close, or we can just talk for 5 more minutes about, Uncle has already talked about how from Bhakti, Auntie has also said, from Bhakti, how we can attain salvation. So because salvation,
in fact,
one
point on, sorry, Auntie.
Yeah, that's
sorry,
what I'm just coming to you. So the how from education, from Educare, you can attain salvation, because Educare is to bring out the latent divinity. The divinity is very much within. So to bring out, that is Educare, that has to be practiced, that has to be brought, mingled with the education system. So then it will happen. So this is education and devotion. From dedication, how we can reach, we can get salvation. So this is the point which I want everybody to say a few words about, and then we'll finish off.
So in fact, dedication helps in achieving a focus, achieving a satisfaction, and also a perfection. So there is one example in Mahabharata where Arjuna, so we all know Arjuna for his dedicated efforts in perfect making his art of handling this bow and arrow in a perfection way. So even during his childhood, everybody knows this story, just want to bring it here. So when his guru was asking to focus on the bird, the other Pandavas, they were able to see only the other aspects. Like they could see the sky, they could see the tree, they could see the leaves, they could see the other fruits or the flowers in the tree. But Arjuna alone said he couldn't see any other thing but only the eyes of the bird. So that much of no dedication in his art that he's going to learn, and the focus that he had, that and achieving the target given by his guru. So this simply shows that even a smallest act or whatever you want to do, if there is a complete dedication and definitely have the focus in you. So the focus for us is what? To achieve the Lord's feet, to do whatever act through him, so in order to attain the salvation. So this is what is a simple thing that we can learn, that so it's not that you are doing it, it is that for what purpose you are doing it. So that is what is dedication. That will help you to reach to the desired result that you are aiming at.
Exactly.
Mainly about undivided attention, focus. That's what she's talking about. The focus, no?
Yeah.
Undivided attention. Focus.
Exactly. No, the same thing came to my mind when you are talking, Prahlada. The educator he wanted. He didn't want education. He was not ready to take education, but he was born for educator at that time itself. He said, Vishnu, Sarvam Vishnu Mayam. So salvation is nothing but when we are able to see here itself, being here, we can get salvation. If we are able to see the divine in ourselves and also in everybody around, in everything around, we get the salvation. So Prahlada was one example. Dhruva was another example who got salvation, who became a star permanently. So such examples are there. And one more small thing I wanted to share about Swami school children. I thought Mekla will be there. What happened was the children were going on the road. They found a purse or something, a bag. There was 60,000 rupees, Nepali rupees, 60,000 rupees on the road. So children are from Swami school. They didn't know what to do initially, but they knew because they've been given values. They didn't do anything. They took the money to Swami and asked Swami to use it for some purpose. So that kind of, we don't know what otherwise children would have done. So let's take the money, they would have thought. But Swami's children, when they're given values from a tender age, how they blossom, this is what it shows. So Naveen would like to say something.
Yeah, just one thing I want to add about education. So I think education today is viewed in a very worldly context of bookish knowledge. It is about what we should do for higher studies or what we need to do to get a job or how can we improve our career. I think education, we have to think about it from a broader perspective. Also, how do we actually live our life? It is not just about going to a job and earning money, but it's how do we live a life? How do we behave in society? How do we interact with everyone around us? So I think that is the true education and also what we call as educare now. And I just wanted to say one last thing about, just kind of connecting all of this into an analogy. So it is like building a house. So the education is the foundation of the house. And dedication and devotion are the pillars on which we can erect the house. Then salvation is finally the roof that will complete the house. So I will end with that, Saira.
Very beautiful.
One more point is
please, yeah.
Swami's side also. Swami has shown dedication to us actually. Swami is not just preaching. Okay, he has done it already. For example, Swami always talk about good education. Okay, and health, and also water, and when Swami was young, when he was studying in a school, that point I wanted to bring it. When Sanjay Sai Baba, he was studying in a school, he was not in a position to study in an English medium school, because at that time English medium school are proved to be very costlier affair actually. You have to pay the term fees, you have to pay for the books, you have to pay for the uniform, school bus, everything. So all were not getting that kind of education. So Baba felt very bad actually. So at least in future, everybody should get this free education. English medium school, free education, everything. He has made a sankalpa at that time. And finally, now he has built a school is there in Nepal, I heard. And I have not seen that actually. I heard from you people you have visited, and that's a wonderful. That's what dedication. Swami made at that time. Sankalpa he has made at that time, and it's the fruit is what for the society, for the people, not for him. That is what dedication.
Correct.
Dedication means we will not do it for ourselves. No, we have to dedicate for the society, for the good. So through dedication, definitely you can achieve salvation. That kind of quality. That's what I.
Swami always says, "My life is my message." Nowadays, so that he has shown, he has lived and shown how I should be from a very, very humble background. How he has come up to the level, and they have built the school for 3.5 crores actually, and
Yes.
it's equivalent to an IB school. So like that, Swami has done it. Swami wants everybody to us at a human level. He has done. He had not materialized anything, brick and mortar, everything, because of his dedication. And the children are given, educare, like education based on human values. That's the best part of it. That's why the children could take such a huge amount, even though they're from a very poor background. 60,000 is such a huge amount. Small children can always go and take it home and then share it among themselves. They didn't feel like doing that. It's something. So with this, if you may permit, I think.
Just a small point, sorry, I would like to add here is before we close. Okay, brother Ramesh and Sai Vijayamma have beautifully brought out the aspects of Swami's life, and from Swami's life, there are beautiful, points which have come out. And here I would like to bring one of Swami's sayings about some of the aspects of reaching a higher level in life. Here, latest one he is released where Swami says that about personal experience and salvation and leading to salvation. He says the very same thing that seems to be a problem in your life is also the same thing which can be the reason to take you to do a higher place in life. And Swami himself has beautifully shown an example by leading this Balakot school, and that's one line which popped out of savings just now. It's in 152 in Instagram. And here he says the only requisite is that you have a firm and steady faith in whatever you do. And elaborating further, when he starts the entire saying of that thought for the day on that 152 page, he says the attachment and delusion that bind you are the same thing that can also be a medium of your release from the bondage and lead you to salvation.
Amazing.
It's an amazing, beautiful.
Yeah, it's very apt also. Very apt. Very apt. I think for a few minutes we'll go to Uncle Auntie for the final word, and then we'll come back to you, please.
Connecting all these points, devotion, discrimination, and everything, we finally feel that bhakti is the easiest mode, and it requires, of course, education and devotion and everything. Dedication is also plays an important role in bhakti.
So we need education, that is educare, the Atma Vidya, and we need dedication and we need devotion to get salvation. So I'm sure Swami will help us to attain that level and grant us salvation. So the one, wording, one sentence which came to me this morning during prayer, the truly educated one with dedication and devotion shall attain salvation. So this is what Swami said.
Exactly.
All the points.
Exactly.
Swami,
we pray for it.
so we are very grateful to you, Bhagwan. Once again, our koti humble and loving pranams at the Divine Lotus feet. And we love you so much, Bhagwan. We expect your visit to Chennai as soon as possible. Jai Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai.
Jai Sai Ram. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Love you.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti 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 समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की जय। जय बोलो भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की जय। जय बोलो भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की जय।
जय।
ओम शरणम मम भगवान।
Pranam, sir.
Love you so much. Pranam, sir. Sweet.